Welcome back, I'm Helen.
I'm James.
And we are global nomads, and in 2024 we sold everything we owned to retire early and travel the world full time. You join us here in Da Nang, which we are just about to leave the hotel and head to the airport, and we are headed to Ho Chi Minh, so we'll see you there at the Nikko, hopefully, in Ho Chi Minh. Welcome on board Vietnamese Airlines flight 129.
Our last Vietnamese flight for a while.
Guess what? We're not going to be on time either. Shocker. They are very good at helping you with the wheelchair here though. So.
And we've just come from the lounge and they have an aquarium next to the fish station. So you either watch the fish or eat the fish.
You choose. See you in Ho Chi Minh. Thank you. So here we are at the Hotel Nikko in Ho Chi Minh. This is actually our second time here. We were here in 2017 and we did ask for a room with a similar view. And oddly enough, they gave us the exact same room. They looked at our records and gave us the exact same room. So this is a king room with club access. And as you come in, we've got the bathroom on the right hand side, which is open, but then we have these doors that slide across. There's two of those. So we've got the vanity and we've got soap and some mouthwash, hair dryer, and then maybe one of the best stocked amenities that I've ever seen with, interestingly enough, and I've never seen this, detergent to wash your clothes, which is interesting. The rest of the stuff is pretty standard, nail files, toothbrushes. Actually, this is a different one as well, a bath sponge. You don't normally see that as well. So there's like a little squishy body sponge in there, which is quite nice. We did ask for some extra water, which they left for us. And then we've got Roberto Cavalli amenities, shower gel, conditioner and shampoo. Some little body lotion sachets too. Nice bathtub, and there is some bath salts in there. Then we've got the separate walk-in shower. Again, shampoo, conditioner, body wash in there. Over ahead of us, hello. On the left-hand side in this door, it's going to be the loo, so it's in its own separate room. Of course, this is a Japanese branded hotel, so you get the Japanese toilet that does all the fancy stuff and pushes the water up your bum. And then in this door, we've got all the amenities, so tea kettle, little espresso machine, all the stuff, mini fridge, which is empty. And then coming into the room on the left here, we've got the closet, which has got everything in, safe, iron and ironing board, all that usual stuff. And then we've got this kind of luggage valet area here that you can put a couple of cases on. More storage underneath. TV, probably about a 43 or a 45 inch TV, I should think. And then we've got a little work desk here, or dining table. Now I will show you the view. What we did last time is we actually had room service, and they bring it on the old school carts that with the flaps that open up, and then we put it in front of this window and enjoyed the view, because this is pretty spectacular at night. Now I will say this building here was not here when we were here last time, so that does block the view a little bit, but it's still a nice view. There's a really cool blend of, like, you can see like the traditional Vietnamese houses, and down here much more traditional buildings, then linked in with the very modern in the background. For reference, the airport is just over here. I just saw a plane coming in. When we were here last time, we had some pretty spectacular thunderstorms as well, and to sit here with the city all lit up and to see the storm was pretty impressive. So apologies for the flickery lights, that's what the camera does with the lighting. So we've got a little chair and chaise. They did leave us, it looks like, some biscuits. Oh, there's a coffee and some little cookies there. We did ask for extra pillows and they were already in here, so that was nice of them. I asked for an extra duvet as well because I'm always cold. And again, that's in here already. So nightstand either side. We have a 220 outlet, but it's not an international one, so you will need to have an adapter. And then we've got the various light switches, king size bed with, like, oh, don't you just love, one thing I love about staying in hotels is linen, you know? It's always so nice and fresh and everything looks pristine, so the bed looks lovely. And we are actually here for my birthday. It's my birthday next week. And they left me this little cake with the roses on and a little note saying happy birthday. So that was very nice of them too. At the nightstand. Now this side there's no outlet, interestingly enough. So we have got all the light switches here, but no outlet on this side. This is an older building though, so I guess you can't have everything. AC control, 23 it says in here. It feels much colder than that to me, but I am always cold. There is a glass here into the bathroom. Now there is a version of this room that they call a deluxe room, that this wall is not here. It's the same size and the same layout, but doesn't have the wall, which I find a little bit odd. I don't know if that's just me, but there you go. It's all open, but this one isn't. So there's a look at the bathroom. And then we get a look at the whole room again. So it's 40 square meters. So it is a decent size. Very nice. I'm sure we'll be good here. So there you go. That's the Hotel Nikko Saigon.
So we just got in a grab from our hotel. It was about $4 US, just under 100,000 Vietnamese dong. That grab brought us to landmark 81 Skyview, which is the tallest building in Vietnam, the 7th tallest building in the world, and bears a very striking resemblance to the Burj Khalifa.
Yes, it's uncanny. It's uncanny.
Not quite as tall. It's about 1,500 feet tall.
It's like a mini Burj Khalifa. The shape and everything is the same, but it's much
more
smaller.
Boxy and square. So we got in the elevator. It's such a small, compared to some of the other observation towers we've done all over the world. This is just such a small operation. You don't need to book a time. You just need to turn up. It's 300,000 Vietnamese dong, which is about $12 US. If you don't want the photo and the drink, if you do, it's about 500,000. It's a little bit more expensive at the weekend, but you just walk in. You don't even have to book it online.
It's actually located in a mall. So the mall actually says, and the website says it opens at 9:30. We literally, by fluke, arrived at literally on the dot 10 o'clock, and they were just opening the doors. So don't believe the 9:30, because it's not 9:30, it's 10. And as you come through the mall, you'll need to take the escalator down to like the basement level. And then there's just a small counter where you buy your ticket. And when you bought your ticket, they'll direct you over behind the ticket counter to like another corridor where you go up to go through security. There is security and there are scanners, but he just waved us through. And we're here on what day? Thursday today.
Thursday.
We arrived at 10 a.m. and there's us and like 5 other people here.
And there's 3 floors, so you come in at 79. You can also go to 80, or you can go to 81. You use the elevator, or you can use the stairs.
For those 3 floors, not the whole 79.
No. So, yeah.
And there's a couple of photo spots. There is a teppanyaki restaurant on 79. On 80, it looks like there's another cafe, but they've got it blocked off and they're in there on their phones, I think. And
there's virtual reality. She's stuck on her phone as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you could do a virtual reality experience. You can also walk outside on the 81st floor and go up some stairs, but you have to wear a harness, a very attractive looking harness, and they attach you to the banister.
Just so you don't throw yourself off, obviously.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how you would throw yourself off, but I guess they don't want you to do that.
But great views. You can see all the way across the city, literally 360 views, all the way over to the airport, the rivers, the bridges. It's a great view.
You can see the other tallest building in Ho Chi Minh, which is the Bitex Tower, which only goes up to 56 stories. And that's another observation tower that you can do.
And I think just from the location, I would guess this one is probably the better option. Obviously, it's taller, but it looks like it's in a better location too. Just my 2 cents. But yeah, try and come on a clear day. It's a little bit hazy today, but we've got a lot of rain forecast because there's another big typhoon headed towards central Vietnam. So
we needed to get this out of the way.
We need to do it today, otherwise I think it's going to rain for like the next 5 days.
I think this gives you a completely different perspective on. We've been to Ho Chi Minh before, and we've also been to the Mekong Delta. But the whole of this building is surrounded by the Saigon River, and it just snakes around. It's all over the place. It's a completely different perspective of the city. Really, just give you a different view of it.
Yeah, well worth your like 12 US or
12 US
whatever it is. Yeah. Definitely, I would definitely make it worth a visit. And there's a mall downstairs. We're probably going to go and get a coffee now.
There's a Starbucks.
There's a Starbucks, and there's a Highlands coffee, of course.
And apparently you're quite near a H&M.
Maybe. So while we were here, the weather was not that great.
Understatement.
So after the tower, we decided we really needed to make the most of the one kind of decent day that we had weather-wise. And the next stop, we thought we would go to
the War Remnants Museum, which used to be called
the War Crimes Museum. Yes. So this is basically a museum dedicated to the Vietnam War, or as the Vietnamese call it, the American War. There's a whole load of remnants. What do they call it?
Well, they've got the helicopters, they have the bombers, they have the munitions,
tanks,
people, the planes, jeeps, diggers, everything. And we've seen these all over the place, haven't we? They've been in other places. So we went to Hue and they have one, and they have these remnants all over the country.
Yeah, and then there's also a separate setup for kind of what the camps would have looked like, the prisoner of war camps would have looked like, and some of the torture methods used. You should probably be aware it's a pretty graphic place to go.
Yeah, they talk about tiger cages, which are really barbed wire cages, which are really, really, really tight, and they're designed to put more than one person in.
Yeah, they would have like a coffin-shaped cage that they would have had like 3 or 4 people in. Once you go into the actual museum, it's set out over 3 floors.
You can have an audio guide. There are a lot of points. I think point 83 was the one that really got to me, which was a bit graphic because it was a whole chapter just about Agent Orange, and it was 3 baby fetus which had been manipulated or
deformed, really.
deformed because of Agent Orange, and they had actually put them in a glass container. But there was lots of photos, there was lots of stories as to what went on. And I know that we've read the reviews, and I know that some people can be quite offended by this from an American point of view. That going there is obviously, I would say propaganda, but it's not propaganda. It's their view of what happened, rightly or wrongly. I mean, there's no one wins in a war. There's always two sides, and we're not judging or anything like that. It's just their way of remembering.
Yeah, and they do talk about really what life was like for Vietnamese people. And there was also a film playing on the lower level which talked about the Americans and how America had been against the war and the GI resistance to continuing with the war. So, you know, if you've ever been to Europe and been in any war museum there, it's really no different. You know, it's a take on what happened. We shouldn't forget, we should be aware, so that these things don't happen again, which sadly, inevitably they do. But it's an interesting place to visit for sure. I think in terms of, like I said, it is a bit more graphic though than if you have been to war museums in Europe, for example. And even
I would say it's more like the Holocaust museums.
Definitely, yeah. If you've been to the Holocaust Museum in DC, for example, there's parts of that are quite graphic, and it talks about genocide worldwide in there as well, not just the Holocaust as well. But yeah, it's a pretty intense place to go. We actually compared it to a few years ago. We went to Cambodia and went to S29, which was a prisoner of war kind of torture camp there, which was in a school, and that was major. Intense. Yes,
I think that was hard because you went to the killing fields, and then went from the killing fields to S29. It's kind of
it's a heavy day. Yeah,
it's a heavy day of a lot of graphic. You could do a whole video on that, and
yeah, but yeah. It's definitely worth a visit anyway.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a visit. I think the entrance fee was 60,000.
Was it that much? It was $2 or $3 US dollars each.
It wasn't expensive. And then the audio tour was about $3.50 if you wanted the audio tour as well.
There was a ton of people there though. We got there a bit later in the day, yeah, and it was really busy. So be aware if you are going to go, it is a busy place to go.
We had the choice of going there then or not going at all.
Yes, because basically we had 3 days of solid rain after that. The other place we went on that day was, we figured we would head back to Notre Cathedral, which we had visited in 2017, but there was a wedding going on, so we weren't able to go inside.
However,
well, welcome to Ho Chi Minh Cathedral.
Or, as we like to call it,
a whole load of scaffolding. Fortunately, we did get to see it last time we were here in 2017. But we had planned on going inside this time, because last time we came there was a wedding on and we didn't get to go inside.
That's not happening.
We're not going inside today either.
And strangely enough, we thought we saw this cathedral in Hanoi and went looking for it in Hanoi. So we've made 2 attempts to try and see it in Vietnam.
And we still haven't seen it. Well, we saw it last time, and it's a very pretty cathedral. If you get a chance to come, it's like a mini Notre Dame, and it's called Notre Dame Cathedral, but it's very pretty. But I think the actual Notre Dame looks a little bit like this still I think they're still rebuilding it from the fire. So, oh well, we're going to go in the post office instead. The post office is right here opposite as well, so we're going to go in there instead. If you're in the area, again, definitely worth a visit. It's a really impressive building. There's big souvenir shops in there as well if you want souvenirs. We found some pins. Pins have not been easy to find in Vietnam. That's the thing that we normally collect.
How many pins have you bought?
Well, I have bought a lot, but
how can they be?
They've not been that easy to find though.
But she still managed to get about 40 of them.
No, I don't think it's 40. But there's big souvenir shops as well, and it's a really impressive building. I believe it was a French colonial building. It looks like it was built around that period.
There's a big old map there with what Vietnam used to look like before the war.
And old-fashioned phone booths. It's an interesting architectural place just to visit. And right next to there is Book Street.
Which we knew about, but we didn't know where it was. But if you look at a map, then you've got the Cathedral, the post office, Book Street, and then just around the corner is the Saigon Theatre. So they're all in a very close proximity. But Book Street is, we just kind of stumbled along it. It's literally a street of bookstores and coffee shops. But it's done in quite a cute way. It's got a lot of flags, very...
There's like vendors down there doing caricatures as well. It feels a little bit French, I'm not going to lie. I felt a little bit Parisian with the cafes and the artists. We just headed into a cafe because guess what? It started raining. So it's been very, very rainy.
Yeah, we've had 3 or 4 days of rain, and even today I can't even see the top of Landmark 81. Oh, actually I can see the top, I just can't see the rest of the building.
But unfortunately for us, we fared much better than the people in the Ninh Binh area in northern Vietnam, where the storm...
Where we've just come from.
Yeah, where we literally were about 2 weeks ago. Sadly, some people have lost their lives there. There was a big tornado as well, so we'll take the rain.
Yeah.
We'll definitely take the rain.
So we have said this is the second time we've been here, so we didn't want to repeat some of the things that we have been to before. So last time we went to the Mekong Delta. Would recommend. Definitely worth it. It's not as big as it used to be.
The market you're talking about?
The market.
The floating market.
Not
the Mekong Delta.
The Delta's still pretty big.
Still the same size.
But we did a day trip from this hotel, and we went down there and came back. So we didn't want to repeat that.
I also we did a photo tour when we were here before. So we went with a local guide who are photography based, and we went to the flower market, the bike market, and
the bird market,
the
flower market,
and then also just around some local apartments, and just saw some local life. We were literally like the only Westerners there. Everything else was local people. Again, we went to a pagoda as well. Would highly recommend if you're into photography to do something like that. Vietnam is literally like a photographer's dream. You know, everywhere you look, there's a photo. Whether you're into portraiture or architecture or whatever your thing is, you know, there's something here for you. So I really enjoyed that anyway. The things that we didn't go and see this time was the Opera House.
Yeah.
We couldn't find a tour to actually go in there. You would have to go and see a performance, and we just weren't really feeling a performance this time.
No, the only performance was the Bamboo Theatre, and yeah, it wasn't fancy.
There's also some water puppet theatres here as well.
Which again we've done.
We did that last time again as well, so we didn't want to repeat that either. Again, it's quite a cute thing to see.
And I have to say, we were trying to take it a bit easier here, because we know for the next week we're going to be pretty busy.
Yes.
So we were conscious that we didn't want to be go in here. We wanted to be at least rested up in some way, ready for Singapore.
So as usual, we also had to take care of some regular sort of day-to-day things. So I went and got my nails done. I had a manicure and pedicure. I have a gel manicure and pedicure. For both, it was about $36 US.
And while you were doing the manicure and pedicure, I just had a wander down to the river and just seen what river life was like in Ho Chi Minh. So we're in Ho Chi Minh, and Helen's just been to the Lisa Nail Spa. We've just dropped her off, and I decided to go for a bit of a walk because there's not really any shopping centres. So I'm down by the river. And it's amazing that when you do travel, the kinds of things that you see that are just different to what you would expect in whatever country you're from. They're not right and they're not wrong. I mean, Vietnamese people eat all the time and they never sweat. And you can probably tell I've been walking for about 45 minutes and look at me. I don't know how they do it. But yeah, it's I suppose it's the way to go and see some of the places you travel to without going to some of the tourist hotspots. That's one of the beauties of travel, I guess, and one of the beauties of our lifestyle is that you go and see how other people live. You don't necessarily have to live that way. I'm never going to pretend I'm going to immerse myself as a Vietnamese person. I'm a tourist. I'm staying in a very nice hotel, and I'm just going for a walk by the river and seeing Vietnamese people doing Vietnamese things. And yeah, it's just quite interesting. Yes, there is a little bit of homelessness, but honestly, if you didn't come by the river, you wouldn't see it. The river is a bit dirty, but again, when you look at it from the 81st story of the landmark tower, you can't tell that. This is what Vietnam's really like. It is a bit raw. I enjoy it. I love it. Is it for everybody? Probably not. I think it's harsher in the north than it is in the south. Ho Chi Minh's definitely more relaxed than Hanoi, but that's just a matter of opinion. But yeah, I mean, this is what it's like. There are chickens at the side of the road. There are churches next to a coffee and lawyer bar. I don't know lawyers in America, in the UK. If you had a coffee shop, perhaps you'd get more business. I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting way of seeing the city when you just go for a walk to where no one else is and just see what Vietnam's like, or Ho Chi Minh's like. The traffic here, if anyone's been to Ho Chi Minh, the traffic is insane. And the motorbike, I don't know if you need a driving test to actually drive on the roads. I can't imagine you do, because all you do is go in a straight line. If something gets in your way, you stop. It's a bit like the robots in Tops. If nothing's in the way, then you carry on going. And the Green Cross code, or the highway code, or whatever it is, you know, just keep walking and something won't hit you. It's just such a strange thing, and they're all going at such a slow speed. I haven't seen one accident, but they all drive like complete maniacs. There are so many motos on the roads, but it's always interesting to see a bit of Ho Chi Minh life, or whatever country you're in, and actually see how people are really living. As I say, at the end of this, I'll go and pick Helen up, we'll go in a grab, and then we'll go back to our hotel. And we won't pretend that we're trying to live like Vietnamese people, but yeah, Ho Chi Minh. It's definitely an interesting place. It is a little bit raw. It shouldn't stop you from coming. But yeah, if you get the opportunity to put it on your hit list, make sure it is. So we did laundry. We had about 7 kilos of laundry, which is, we're normally between about 6 and 8 kilos is our whole case. Especially if you're watching from an airline, it's definitely less than 7 kilos. And that came to about $8 US, and they had that back within about 12 hours. So,
and that included them picking it up and dropping it off again as well. We didn't have to go and take it either.
Yeah, so nice and easy.
They did shrink my trousers though. Oh well, my trousers have come back about this much shorter than they were, one of them. Oh well.
So the Hotel Nikko Saigon, this is our second time coming here. Our first time was in 2017, and we really didn't get a chance to appreciate the hotel because we were so busy. We only had a few days. We were trying to jam everything in. We went down to the Mekong Delta and photo tours, and we were always up early and around all day. So we wanted to come back to this hotel because of we just didn't get a chance to appreciate it. We did actually pay for the hotel. We didn't do a points thing or anything, and we could have done a Hyatt and we could have done a Hilton. I think this is how your mind plays tricks on you. One of my memories of this hotel is that we would turn all the lights off. We would just have room service, children's lasagna, if you believe it, because the lasagna was so big. And you would just look out at the skyline. And
because we're on the 22nd floor.
we're on the 22nd floor in exactly the same room as we were in 8 years ago.
Yeah, we asked for a similar view and they were like, we've put you in the exact same room. And we're like, okay.
So I suppose this is your mind playing tricks on you. This room is half the size in my memory that and it's not, it's the room.
I think we came from such a big room in Da Nang at the Hyatt. It was massive. That coming in here did feel small, but it's exactly as I remember it being. But...
Yeah, and it's just your perception really, isn't it? So the room, you know, Helen's done the tour, so you will have seen the hotel and seen the room and its facilities, but in my mind it's a lot smaller. I think if I had my time again, I wouldn't come back here. I would go to perhaps the Hyatt or somewhere that's a little bit more central, because this is a little bit out the way.
Yeah, it is a little bit out the way, and basically nothing has changed since 2017, so it probably does need a little bit of maintenance, and a lot of the furniture is looking a bit the worse for wear, and some of the walls at the end of the paintwork, there's quite a few things that...
And there's some damp issues.
There's definitely some damp issues. We've got actually 2 dehumidifiers in here now because our clothes were feeling damp. I'm not quite sure what that's all about.
All the hotel rooms, they leave the doors open when someone's checked out. First time we've ever seen that.
And it definitely seems like they're doing that for air circulation, so not sure what that's all about. In the main, people are very, very nice though, especially in the lounge. We did book a room with club access, so we go up there, up to the lounge on the 23rd floor quite a lot, and everybody there is super nice and super helpful. In terms of breakfast, we have breakfast included. We can either go upstairs to the lounge or downstairs to the main restaurant buffet area. Upstairs was just a little bit more restrictive, as it usually is in the lounges.
Yeah, not really any hot things really, just some cold things, cereals, yogurts, things like that, fruits.
I think you could have some hot things as well. It was just a lot less than downstairs. So we've typically been going downstairs.
Yes, and the majority of people do, because when you go downstairs you'll get an idea of what a buffet is supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, there's literally everything: Korean, Japanese, Western, Vietnamese, hot, cold, fruit, yogurt, waffles, pancakes. I mean, like anything you could possibly imagine you would ever want to eat for breakfast is there.
And I think this is very similar to my previous memory. You can even have coconuts.
Yeah, there's always fresh coconuts.
Literally, this is probably the biggest buffet that I have ever seen in a hotel. And obviously we've seen some buffets in hotels. This thing goes on and on and on and on. It really does. It's a sight to behold. Unfortunately, all I have is fruit and yogurt, which is it seems a crime. It seems a crime, but yes, we can't eat all the buffets.
No.
Yes, that wouldn't go down well.
And so the lounge also does afternoon tea, which we've only been to a couple of times. Again, pretty good spread, whole range of salad, some sandwiches, cakes, tea, drinks, anything that you could possibly want for lunch. It's 2 till 4, but we have only been up and had a light lunch a couple of times.
But you like the fact they've got veggies and dips, and it's actually sometimes a better range than they have in the evening.
They do, yeah, they do. And then the evening selection up there is going to be from 5 till 8. They have some hot appetizers and some salad things, mini appetizer type things as well as desserts and fruit, and also alcoholic drinks between, like I said, 5 and 8. There's like 1 gin, 1 rum, 1 usual stuff. One red wine, 1 white wine. The white wine's actually quite nice. It's their own label, Sauvignon Blanc. It's actually quite nice. They usually have, again, enough up there for us. We don't eat a whole lot, so there's we literally haven't, I don't think we've bought food anywhere else, literally. No. We've had like a cake at Starbucks or something, but that's it when we went to the mall that day. But
yeah, we haven't needed to.
No, we haven't needed to buy any other food, literally. So there's a pretty decent selection for what we want.
They do have a huge seafood festival buffet, and we didn't go to it last time and we haven't been to it this time, but because we're not massive, well, I'm not massive into seafood, but it is huge. So if you're into seafood, then that might be a good call for you.
The lobby area here is also huge, and there's also a patisserie down there as well, like quite a big cafe area. Again, we've not tried it. There's too much food. You can't eat all this food. And there's also a French restaurant down there as well. La Brasserie, I believe it's called. Again, didn't try there, we didn't need to. Right behind the reception though, there's going to be a walkway, and that will take you into the mall that is attached to the hotel. I kind of use the term mall loosely.
More of a department store than
a sort of
mall.
Little shopping centre. Yeah, it's not.
It's not the biggest in the world, but it does have a few things.
Yeah, there's a coffee shop. I think it's Highlands Coffee in there, I think, isn't it?
Yeah,
and,
a couple of coffee shops.
And a bakery, a pharmacy, a Samsonite shop. I don't know what it is about Southeast Asia. There's a Samsonite shop everywhere you go. Like every shopping mall you go into, there's a Samsonite shop. There's a cinema.
Yeah, there's a fair.
Yeah. It's useful to have, and that you don't need to go outside and go in the rain if you want to go there anyway. So thanks for watching our brief trip to Ho Chi Minh, or Saigon, whichever you want to call it. We are going to be leaving really shortly and headed to the airport, where we are going to be heading to Singapore.
So please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and remember, you're here for a good time, not for a long time. We'll see you in the next video.